I mean, first of all, two people being competitive, two people that really want to win. And, you know, I think a lot of those things happen all the time. And I know there's a camera on me and that's how it's going to be. But there's a lot of people out there in the media or on TV that they think they know a lot of things and they're just blatantly wrong about a lot of things. And I ride for Steph. I ride for these girls. Steph has my back more than anybody. So, you know, nobody in that locker room, in our locker room, or Steph or our coaching staff thought twice about it.
That right there is Caitlin Clark calling out the entire media machine without flinching. They think they know a lot of things, and they're just blatantly wrong. This is the Indiana Fever star addressing what happened Saturday night during the Portland Fire game, and the moment everyone tried to turn into a scandal. So what actually went down between Clark and her head coach?
Answer.
What even led to it? Just the blow up. Not blow up, like
I think we were down 20 points, so probably that.
I don't know if you heard the question, but he says, what even led to it? Her very get right to the point answer is sort of like a duh.
There it is, the whole controversy, deflated in one sentence. A reporter asks what even led to the sideline exchange, and Clark gives the most ordinary answer possible. They were down 20 points. That's it. No feud, no power struggle, no locker room mutiny. Just two competitive people frustrated about getting blown out. But notice what happens next, because Clark isn't done correcting the record.
I mean, for you,
And it wasn't a blow up, so I wouldn't put that either.
Sorry.
I have to stop here because this is really interesting. She said it wasn't a blow up. Like, she corrects him. She doesn't want it called a blow up. The funny thing about it is, like I told you, I had just recorded the video with.
Did you catch that? The reporter calls it a blow up, and Clark cuts him off mid-sentence. It wasn't a blow up. She refuses the framing, and that single correction tells you everything about how this story got distorted. The person who actually lived the moment is rejecting the very language being used to sell it. The reporter apologizes. She says it's all good, and they move on. But the internet had already run miles in the other direction.
How would you describe your relationship with Steph?
It's great. Like, there's nobody, like, when I got hurt at the Connecticut game last year, like, I bawled in Steph's arms. Like, that's somebody I will ride for the rest of my life. Like, those are the moments that people behind, you know, people don't see that. People that just sit on their phones all day, they don't see those moments. They don't see the moments where we come into work. They don't see the moments that really absolutely suck, that people have your back, but they think they know everything. In reality, they don't have a clue. And it's old, but it's the reality in the life that I've lived for the past 5 years, and it's something I'm used to. But me and Steph both know what it is, and that's somebody who I will.
This is the part that cuts deepest. Clark describing the night she got hurt at the Connecticut game last year, bawling in Stephanie White's arms. That's somebody I will ride for the rest of my life. This is the relationship people online were trying to paint as broken. White was the one who had her back when, in Clark's words, nobody else did. That context matters, because it reframes the sideline exchange entirely. You don't fall apart in someone's arms one season and then quietly resent them the next. Clark draws a sharp line here between the people who watch the games and the people who live them. The ones who, as she puts it, just sit on their phones all day. They see a freeze frame, a head down, a heated word, and they build an entire narrative. They don't see the moments that actually suck. They don't see who shows up when it's hard. And that gap between perception and reality is the whole story.
I think what happened in that moment is I was challenging a player. You know, it's coaching. It's what it is. You know, I don't often think it becomes an issue if you're watching it in men's sports most of the time.
I'll stop right there.
Now here's Stephanie White answering the exact same situation, and notice how she frames it. I was challenging a player. It's coaching. It's what it is. White makes a pointed comparison. This kind of intensity doesn't become a story in men's sports most of the time, and that observation opens up something bigger than one game. Why does a coach pushing her star player become a scandal in the WNBA when it's treated as normal everywhere else?
My relationship with Caitlin is great. Like, I love Caitlin. I ride with her. Like, this is, we have a great relationship. And I think that the narrative of people trying to make it something that it's not is just, you know, taking sensationalism to try to get some clicks and all the other stuff. She wants to be coached. I want her to help me be a better coach. We're both competitive. We're both stubborn. You know, we're more alike than different. And hopefully we continue to bring the best out of each.
I love Caitlin. I ride with her. White is just as direct as her player. She names exactly what she thinks is happening. People trying to manufacture sensationalism to get clips. Both the coach and the player independently used the same word, ride, to describe their loyalty to each other. That's not a coordinated cover story. That's two people who actually know what their relationship is, describing it the same way because it's true.
So, you heard from Lexi, you heard from Caitlin herself, you heard from Coach Stephanie White herself, and I think ultimately, if I may give some advice, and that is everybody has a...
And here's the host getting at the heart of why this even matters. People are watching who flat out refuse to believe Clark and White, then getting frustrated when their own narrative doesn't hold up. So let's lay out what actually happened versus what got sold to you. The incident itself. Saturday night, the Indiana Fever down 20 points to Portland, and Stephanie White challenges Caitlin Clark on the sideline. That's the entire event. Not a blow-up, not a feud, a coach lighting a fire under a frustrated star during a blowout loss. Clark herself rejected the word blow-up so firmly she interrupted the reporter who used it. Then look at how three separate people handled it. Lexi Hall said it plainly. We have nothing to hide. Clark addressed it head-on. White addressed it head-on. Three voices, same message, no hesitation. And some viewers took that consistency as proof of a conspiracy, arguing that the more people confirm something, the less they believe it. But think about what the alternative looks like. The host points to Ari McDonald's introductory press conference, where she got asked an uncomfortable question about Paige Buchers, and the franchise stepped in to shut it down. That's what hiding looks like. That's what protecting a narrative looks like. The Fever did the opposite. They answered. White gave the most revealing explanation of all. She talked about a player from her past she was harder on than anyone else, someone she had a great relationship with even though they butted heads, because she saw talent worth pushing. That's the philosophy here. Clark has said she wants to be coached hard. White challenges her because she sees something in her and wants to pull it out. When you know each other that well, you know exactly where the line is and how hard you can push. That's not dysfunction. That's the relationship working. And White made the comparison that should stop people cold. This level of intensity, a coach getting after a player, barely registers as a moment in men's sports. It happens constantly on NBA sidelines, and nobody builds a week of content around it. But in this league, with this player, the microscope zooms in so close that a normal coaching moment becomes a referendum on whether the entire relationship is broken. Clark named that reality directly. She's lived under it for 5 years. She's used to it. But used to it doesn't mean it's fair. So here's where it lands. Both women described their bond with the same word, independently, in separate interviews. Clark said White had her back when nobody else did, and that she'll ride for her till she dies. White said she rides with Clark, that they're more alike than different, both competitive, both stubborn. The people closest to the moment are telling you exactly what it was. The people furthest from it, the ones on their phones, are telling you it was something else entirely, which leaves you with a choice the host laid out perfectly. You don't get to decide who coaches the Fever. You don't get to decide Clark's relationships. You can ride with the team and trust the people who were actually in that locker room. Or you can decide you can't accept what they're plainly telling you and walk away. But what you can't do is sit on your phone, watch a freeze frame, and insist you know the truth better than the two people who lived it. So I'll put it to you straight. When Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White both tell you, in their own words, that this relationship is rock solid, do you believe them, or do you believe a slowed down clip and a comment section? Because you can't have it both ways. Tell me where you land in the comments, and tell me why.